구원해준 나의 천사 나의 세상 난 이상 새 고향이 널 만나러
Excitement is too small a word for YN. She was sitting next to her friend, going on a trip to Seoul from Busan. She was so excited, and yes, excitement is really too small a word for her, hard to contain. Her classmates were dancing, yelling, and shouting. The whole bus seemed alive, every sound screaming happiness and freedom. These 4 days they were going to enjoy, they knew it for sure, and nothing could stop the joy that already filled the air. Ryan looks over at Jimin. He was seated near the driver talking to him, anything and everything. Before long, he was holding some cash for fuel, for horror rooms, for every detail. He's a budget maker, and the one everyone relied on. Luckily, Ryan was seated on the aisle. Or wait, she seated wantedly. She wanted to be right there, not by accident. And when Jimin turns around, his eyes lock with Ryan. They don't smile at each other. No, not yet. Jimin talks to his professor before moving forward, just quite closer to Ryan, his hand gripping the seat as he leans. Need a break for quick snacks? Jimin asks, but the speaker was too loud, nobody could hear his voice in the chaos. He laughs it off and shrugs, walking backward. But just when he was passing Ryan, the driver puts on a sudden brake. Ryan's eyes widen as her hand shoots forward, steadying his back, stopping him from falling against the rocking aisle. Embarrassed, he quickly runs to the back, sliding into a seat with his friends. Her lips curve into a smile she can't hide even as she turns around again. But Jimin is gone, nowhere in sight, as if he vanished into the noise. She presses the moment into her heart, holding it light tightly. No one noticed, not a single person knew. No one, and no one could ever know what she was going through. Only Payan had a secret locked away in the rhythm of the bus. They went a mall as their first place to explore right after reaching Seoul. As if the whole city had gathered there, they walked through the wide halls, looking at stores, pointing at displays, and scratching their noses at the prices they saw. They laughed, moved in groups, and circled back to the place they were supposed to meet. But in the meantime, hunger began to creep in. Stomachs growled, and whisper about food passed between them, even though they had promised not to spend too much here. We can go out and eat then, the professor said, his voice steady as he looked over his students. Yeah, we'll spend more time here and then we can leave. Her friend added quickly, and everyone nodded in agreement before wandering off again. Wayne and her friends slipped into a CK store. Racks of clothes gleamed under bright lights, and they touched the fabrics while joking over prices. But Wayne's stomach betrayed her with a loud growl, and she pressed her lips together, embarrassed by the sound. At that very moment, Jimin and his friends stepped into the store, their eyes wandering over the displays. Do you guys want to eat here? Jimin asked casually, his voice directed toward them, but his gaze rested longer on YN than anyone else. Not here, it's really expensive. YN's friend said quickly, shaking her head. YN agreed immediately, nodding along, though she couldn't help but glance at Jimin. It's okay, I'll pay, Jimin said, his eyes sliding back to YN as if the words were only meant for her. No, it costs a lot. It's okay, YN replied softly, but Jimin wasn't taking a no for an answer. It's okay, let's go, he repeated, steady and sure, his gaze still fixed on her, and she could not tell if he meant for alone or everyone. Let's go then, her friend cheered, already moving forward with a jump of excitement. Oyen followed, blinking in surprise, her thoughts tangled, and just behind her Jimin walked, close, leading them all to the food court, his presence lingering at her side. Oyen was seated far away from Jimin, not so far that she couldn't see him, but far enough that it felt cruel. Cruel because she could see his face so clearly yet couldn't hear his voice. The distance made her restless. The boys were seated on one side, laughter spilling from their side like it had no end. The girls on the other side talking softly, giggling at small things. Together, both groups savored the food, spoons clinking, trays shifting, voice blending into the noise. Wayan tried to focus on eating, tried to keep her head down, her eyes on the plate, but her mind betrayed her. She was already calculating the bill, counting every possible number, the cost of each plate, the cost of drinks. Yet, when she dared to glance up, Jimin didn't seem to care at all. He looked calm, relaxed, leaning back slightly as if none of it mattered. He wasn't restless like her, not once did he seem to think of the money. Eat well, everyone, Jimin said suddenly, his voice steady but gentle, breaking through the sound of chatter. Everyone nodded, but Wayne froze because when she looked up at him, his eyes weren't scanning the group. His eyes were only on her. For a second, time stopped. She didn't know if anyone else noticed, but she did. His gaze was steady, not wavering, not rushing, just holding her there across the tables, like the whole crowd had vanished and it was only them. Her lips curved slowly into a smile, soft, unintentional, almost shy, and just as quickly she dropped her eyes back to the plate. The food suddenly mattered the spoon, the rice, anything that would save her from what she felt. But her heart kept racing, faster and faster, as if that single look carried a secret meant only for her. No one else. She pushed the food around, tried to chew, but every bite felt heavy because Jimin's eyes still lingered in her mind. When they finally checked into the rooms, they were all so tired. The bus, the walking, the mall, everything. It had caught them up. Their legs aching, bodies heavy, but the hotel room was so beautiful. Balconies, nature all around, sunlight fading softly, the kind of view that made them all pause for a second. Wine and her friends entered, dropping bags, taking off jackets, rushing to shower, laughing, teasing, splashing water, messing with each other, hair wet and sticky, cheeks flushed, then changing into comfy clothes, loose t-shirts, track pants, pillow fighting through pillows, jumping, squealing, the room alive with chaos and energy. And then there was a sudden knock on the door. Everyone froze, mid pillow, mid love, all quiet. They hurriedly pulled on night comfy dresses, glued t shirts, track pants, messy hair, trying to fix themselves but still looking half homeless. And now, who could be at the door? Go check, Wayne said to her friend. Then come with me, her friend said, tagging Wayne along. Wayne followed her, treading, not ready to show her face. Messy hair slicking up, t-shirt loose, 3/4 truck pants slouching low. She looked homeless, embarrassed, exhausted. And when they opened the door, it was Jimin, handsome, calm, even after a hectic day, effortless, perfect. Wayne hid behind her friend, cheeks burning, heart racing, too embarrassed to show her face. I'm gonna buy some night snacks for boys. Do you all need some? He asked, polite, casual. No, thank you, Jimin. Thank you for asking. Her friend said quickly and smiling softly. Jimin nodded, stepping back, ready to leave. But then his eyes fell on YN, hiding in the back, trying miserably to disappear but failing. A small smile tugging at his lips, soft, secret, knowing. The door closed, click, and yet their hearts were still racing, pounding, alive. That little moment heavy lingering in the room, impossible to ignore. After what felt like a good dinner, they all lied into the beds. Two in the bed, legs dangling, talking, laughing quietly until someone started snoring. Voices low, talking about every little nonsense thing in the world, things that didn't matter but felt too important in the moment. The room was warm, quiet except for soft whispers and occasional giggles. Eyelids heavy, bodies sinking into the soft mattresses. Exhaustion creeping in slowly, pulling them into sleep. But not before reminders whispered through their tired minds. So many places to explore in the city tomorrow. Ryan lay still for a moment, staring at the ceiling, soft light spilling from the balcony, and then wondered, shall she go and knock the door and check? Will that be okay? No, it would be awkward. Not going to boss's room now. No. She confessed herself, pulling the blanket closer, hugging the pillow, letting her tired body sink fully into the mattress. And finally, she slept, deep, peaceful like a baby, soft birds rising and falling, her mind quiet, the city waiting for them in the morning.